G'day guys, welcome to the Carnival Queensland YouTube page. Today I'm going to be covering off cruise sale weeks, how to set them up, the benefits of using them for your business, and a how-to guide on how to actually set them up. So in this webinar I'll cover off those particular aspects. Cruise sale weeks are a very important tool that you guys have in your tool belt. I have already covered off in a previous webinar about select sailings. The great thing about cruise sale weeks, you can work these in conjunctions with select sailings. So you ever get one of your customers walking through the door and they've managed to find any extra onboard credit that you're unable to see, a lot of times these are combated by being able to set up cruise sale weeks or select sailings to be able to find the appropriate onboard credit to be able to match that. The great thing about onboard cruise sale weeks is that everyone gets them, and it's how you utilize them that really makes a big difference. So I'm going to go through a couple of things about them as we go. But first things first, I'm going to log into Polar, because that's the easiest way, of course, is to get into Polar to log in. If you visited Polar before, you'll come through to our password screen. Make sure you enter the correct password into where you are. Now, one of the things about cruise sale weeks you'll find is that cruise sale week can only be set up by the manager of the business. So unlike select sailings, where anybody can set them up, or groups, as we call them, cruise sale weeks have to be set up by the manager. So whether you grab the manager's login or whether you are the manager setting this cruise sale week up, this is very important that you are using this particular login. Now, first things first, we'll just change down. You select the cruise line that you want to set your cruise sale week up with. So at the bottom down there, we'll select Carnival Cruise Lines Australia. You'll see the page refresh. Okay, you'll see the normal places that you'll see in your Polar, which is your create a booking, manage booking, and then your create a group and view group list, which is your select sailings. But one of the things you'll notice pop up now is this little section down here, which is the agency owner tools section. Okay, where you can see it's all about managing accounts and things like that. But one of the things you'll notice down the bottom is you'll notice a little cruise sale button down here. So if we click on the cruise sales, it'll then bring up two options. And again, what we can do is we can then select the cruise sales right there. It's a very, very easy process to do for cruise sales. Before we go and set them up, I just want to explain them a little bit to you. Cruise sale weeks are designed for, to be set up over the period of a week where you're basically going on sale. And this is an opportunity where you spend a lot of your time advertising your local area marketing, sending EDMs out, accessing channels like Facebook or your databases to say, hey, look, to your customers, hey, we're on sale this particular time. Now's a great time to book, and just to kind of really have a 1 week spike in your sales. They're a very, very useful tool. The great thing about cruise sale weeks is majority of the time they're combinable as well. So if we've got a current sale in the market, for example, we're offering $200 or $400 onboard credit. If you then set up a cruise sale week over that particular period, they are combinable as well. So just make sure you read the T's and C's, but majority of the time they are combinable. So you'll find if we're offering $400 onboard credit and you've got a cruise sale week for that particular week, you can then go to the market with offering up to $500 onboard credit, making your deal very, very attractive. Now, the great thing about this is you do have an allotment of them. You don't have an unlimited amount of cruise sale weeks. And down the bottom down here, you'll see what I'm talking about. You actually get 6 a year. Okay, so you can see here you get 6 cruise sale weeks that you can use. And how they're set up is you're allowed 1 per quarter. Now, quarter being January, February, March, next quarter, April, May, June, next quarter, July, August, September, and then the final quarter, October, November, and then December. Okay, and that's how the quarters are set up. So you're allowed 1 per quarter that you can access, and then you actually allowed 2 tacticals. So that takes your tally up to 6. So you can either decide to use them. Good time to try and use your 2 tacticals is maybe in January, February, when there's a lot of heat on cruising, that'll happen. And then again, at this particular time of year, right now I'm filming this webinar just on the end of August. Come September, we go on sale. There's a lot of aspects of the business that'll go on. A lot of online wholesalers and other avenues of the business will be spiking cruise quite dramatically with a lot of their specials, being on the cusp of Clear Cruise Week, which is the second week of the year, the second week of September. And if you access one of your cruise sale weeks, then you can almost go on sale for 2 weeks. So you can go on sale, say, for the week before, the week of cruise week, or you can go on the week after, depending on how you want to maximize it. So that's something that you would talk about your business and work out where you're sitting. Those are the times that I recommend use them, the tacticals, because those are the times that you're going to organically get a lot of extra business coming through the door. Okay, if you have a week where you've got an expo scheduled in as well, so you're doing a local expo in your local area, make sure you pencil in and set these cruise sale weeks up to coincide with your expo. So then you're always offering something extra at your expo that no one else has got their hands on at that particular time. Okay, as you set up your cruise sale weeks, you'll see they'll get assigned, and you'll see I'm using a training login, so we don't use them obviously as much, just mainly to set up. So you'll see, you want to make sure you do use them though. So if you don't see here the first quarter right here in this particular poll login, which is that training login, it wasn't used, you'll never ever get that quarter back again. So you can't necessarily use all 6 for the last 6 weeks of the year. It won't work. You do have to use 1 per quarter, and then the 2 tacticals. However, the 2 tacticals can't be used in the same month, so in the same quarter. So you can't go on sale for 3 consecutive weeks, if that makes sense. Okay. So keeping that in mind, once you've assigned them, they'll appear up here. A little 1 will appear, telling you that you've signed 1 for the quarter, and you can see when you've assigned for each of the quarters. So you can keep a track of that. Now, keep it in mind that if you, as I mentioned before, if you don't set up your quarter 1 cruise sale week, you'll never ever get that back ever again. Okay, so make sure when you're in your planning, you get into that particular time, or even if you haven't used your first quarter and you come to the end of March and you think, oh, I've got a week left, might as well just use it because you'll never get it again. So any customers that walk through the door, you can give them a slightly better value for money booking. Okay, so to begin your cruise, to set up a cruise sale week is very easy. Up here where it says beginning cruise sale date, that's when you activate it, okay? Now the difference with a cruise sale week is I can actually start a cruise sale week today if you want, the day that you want to start it. So if you do forget to start it until the day you launch, you don't have to have a lead-in time. But the minute you start it, that's when it will activate for that particular time, okay? So being the month at the moment, it's the 28th of August today, Clear Cruise Week actually starts on the 7th of September. So if I was to set up my cruise sale week ready to start on the 7th of September, I would put those dates in. 7th September, 15. Okay, once I've done that, I hit the submit button. Okay, it then asks you to select a particular cruise sale week. Now, most of the time, you won't see this many options. You'll just see this code here, which is the CSS code. So that's a CCL, kind of cruise line sale week. So you just select on that one and then go submit. If you are a Clear representative, right now you'll have a National Cruise Clear Week, which will be in your system, which is your CS5 code. If you want to know more about Clear, you can go to their website. Clear's the governing body of cruising in Australia. Great organisation to be a part of. You get a lot of extra benefits and perks for being a member of them. Okay, so let's have an example. We do set up a CSS code. If you ever see CSL, sometimes this is an extra code we'll add. Feel free to give your BDM a call and ask them. We're happy to help you out. At the moment, starting on Monday, we've actually got $99 deposits. So by using the CLS code, that'll then represent the $99 deposits. And that's why we've had to add that extra code in on this particular webinar. But 99% of the time you use the CSS code. So I'm going to use that one for you right now. So once we do that, we hit the submit button. Okay, oops, it duplicates that one. So I'll just do the CSS code. Okay, and you'll see there it's now opened. Okay, I opened it before just when I was training, hence why it showed me that duplicate before. Okay, so you can see it's open now. It opens up on that particular date. As soon as the 7th triggers off, the cruise sale week activates. Once you hit the 7th, you cannot cancel it again. So I can then go through and cancel this cruise sale week right up until about the 6th of September. So all of a sudden, if my marketing strategy changes and I need to change cruise sale weeks to the week later, you've got to cancel it before it starts. Okay, so once it's locked in, it'll be set in there. Now you can go through and you can then set up your next quarter, for example, which is December. Okay, let's say I'm going to use the 1st of December. Same deal, and you'll notice this time just the CSS codes come up because it's outside of those sales, which you'll see, and then you'll see my December 1st pop up and my 7th of September pop up. And if we pop down here, you'll then see you've now got them assigned. So I've got the 4th quarter assigned, and I've got 2 assigned in the 3rd quarter, okay, which is the one I just used, and then there's 26th, which is currently open at the moment. Okay, so that's cruise sale weeks. They're very, very easy to use. Make sure you use them. Everybody's got access to them. If you do need any more information on them, like as I mentioned, please feel free to give your BDM, give myself a call. I am Mark Richards, your Carnival Queensland BDM. and I'm happy to help you out with anything you need. My details are on our site if you do need them. Otherwise, feel free to send me an email at mark.richards@carnivalaustralia.com. Happy to help out. So just to recap, if you do want to cancel them, it's just a matter of hitting the cancel button, and you'll see then the cruise sales have now cancelled, and you'll see they're taken out of the assignment here, so they're no longer assigned. The one is from this one over here that's still open. So guys, as always, happy selling. I hope these make a huge difference to you. Remember, they are combinable, so if we are offering, as I mentioned, $400 onboard credit as one of our sales, you book that customer in a cruise sale week, they'll get $500 onboard credit. And then if you then go through and book them onto a select sailing, which is one of my other webinars you'll find on my YouTube channel, you can combine almost up to sometimes $600 extra onboard credit. So great tools to be able to use, and use them at your disposal. As I mentioned, if you don't use them, you do lose them. So guys, as always, happy selling, and of course happy sailing. And please feel free to give me a call if you need any more information on this particular webinar. Talk to you then. Bye.